What happens if the studio behind Mobile Legends Bang Bang, a game with over 1.5 billion downloads and 110 million plus monthly active players, gets sold for up to $7 billion? This isn't a troll headline. Industry insiders are reporting that Moonton, the company that created MLBB, might be changing hands in one of the biggest mobile gaming deals in history. Today we're breaking down what that could mean for the future of MLBB and its global community. Welcome back to Mobile Legends News. Moonton is the Shanghai-based game studio best known as the developer of Mobile Legends Bang Bang, one of the most played mobile MOBAs in the planet. According to multiple recent reports, ByteDance, the owner of TikTok and Moonton, is in advanced talks to sell that studio to Saudi Arabia's Savvy Games Group in a deal worth between $6 billion and $7 billion. But what does that even mean for MLBB players, esports, events, and the game's development roadmap? We're digging into every angle. Alright, this is where things get serious. If the reported sale of Shanghai Moonton Technology, the studio behind Mobile Legends Bang Bang, to Saudi Arabia's Savvy Games Group for a reported $6 to $7 billion actually pushes through, we're not just talking about a business transaction. We're talking about one of the biggest shifts in mobile esports history. This isn't some small studio acquisition. This is the developer of a game that has surpassed 1.5 billion downloads globally and continues to maintain over 110 million monthly active users, according to recent reporting. When numbers like that meet a multi-billion-dollar valuation, the future of MLBB instantly becomes bigger than just patches and skins. It becomes about global strategy. The first and most obvious implication is funding. Savvy Games Group is backed by Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, which has made it clear through its official communications and acquisitions that it wants to become a dominant global gaming force. This isn't speculation. Savvy has already acquired Scopely for $4.9 billion and Niantic's gaming unit for $3.5 billion, and it has significant stakes in esports infrastructure through ESL Faceit Group. That tells us something very important. They're not just buying games, they're building ecosystems. If Moonton joins that portfolio, MLBB suddenly has access to deeper capital reserves, larger sponsorship pipelines, and potentially world-class tournament infrastructure. Now, imagine what that could mean for MLBB esports. We've already seen the M series grow year after year, with M7 getting viewership records and M8 pushing further into Europe and Turkey under the 5-region competitive model officially announced by Moonton. With stronger financial backing, prize pools could expand even more. Production quality could scale up to match top-tier PC esports. Regional leagues that could currently operate with limited resources could receive better broadcast setups, stronger team support systems, and even more consistent event scheduling. As a coach, that matters. Better infrastructure means more stable careers for players, more professional team environments, and a healthier competitive ecosystem overall. But funding alone isn't enough. Strategy is everything. A major acquisition can accelerate growth, but it can also shift priorities. If Savvy's vision aligns with Moonton's current trajectory, with global esports expansion, grassroots support, and regional development, then MLBB could hit a new golden era. However, if the focus leans too heavily towards rapid commercialization or short-term return on investment, there's a risk of imbalance. Throwing money at massive tournaments without strengthening local pipelines can create a flashy top layer but a weak foundation underneath. Global expansion is another area where the sale could have a massive impact. MLBB already dominates Southeast Asia and has made strong pushes into Latin America, the Middle East, and parts of Europe. The official 5-region structure shows that Moonton is serious about building a unified global competitive framework. With Savvy's influence, particularly its strong ties to the Middle East and growing investment in global esports, MLBB could see deeper penetration in regions that are still emerging. That might mean new franchise leagues, more localized content, or even permanent tournament circuits in regions that previously only hosted qualifiers. At the same time, expanding too quickly carries its own risk. As someone who studies competitive ecosystems, I've seen games stretch themselves thin, trying to be everywhere at once. Talent development takes time. Viewership habits take time. Community trust takes time. If leagues launch before player bases are ready, or if marketing outpaces organic growth, momentum can stall. The key will be pacing. Sustainable growth beats explosive overexpansion every single time. Partnerships are also another major area of opportunity. Moonton has already secured high-profile collaborations, including Visa becoming an official partner for M7, and even crossovers involving global brands like the NBA. These partnerships signal that MLBB is no longer just a regional mobile game. It's a commercial entertainment property. With Savvy's backing, the scale of potential brand deals increases significantly. Larger multinational sponsors could enter the ecosystem. Broadcast rights deals could expand into new markets, and MLBB's tournaments could receive mainstream sports-level treatment in more countries. But here's the thing about partnerships. Alignment matters more than size. A massive sponsor that doesn't understand gaming culture can feel forced or corporate. You see, the MLBB community is passionate and deeply rooted in regional identity. So if marketing strategies shift towards a more globalized, less community-focused approach, then the brand risks losing its authenticity. Growth must amplify the community, not overshadow it. And now let's talk about development priorities, because for everyday players, this is the heart of the issue. Ownership changes often come with strategic reassessments. Will development teams expand? Will there be more investment in new game modes, spin-offs, or experimental features? With additional funding, we could see faster update cycles, larger development teams, and potentially more ambitious in-game events. That could be incredible. Imagine smoother balance patches, more frequent content drops, or even expanded competitive tools integrated directly into the client. On the flip side, acquisitions sometimes introduce restructuring periods. Leadership changes can temporarily slow decision-making. Corporate oversight can introduce additional approval layers, and there's also the possibility of shifting towards stronger monetization strategies. That doesn't automatically mean negative changes, but it does mean players will be watching closely. The balance between profitability and player satisfaction is delicate, especially in free-to-play competitive games. Esports stability is another major variable. Under Moonton's current structure, MLBB has steadily built towards a more globalized competitive model. If Savvy integrates MLBB deeper into its broader esports ecosystem, possibly leveraging its ESL Faceit connections, the game could achieve a level of international tournament standardization that rivals traditional esports giants. That could mean consistent global circuits, clearer ranking pathways, and more stable seasonal formats. However, integration can also mean restructuring. Competitive formats could change, regional slot allocations might shift, qualification pathways could be reworked. For established regions like the Philippines or Indonesia, this may not pose a huge threat, but for emerging regions still building momentum, structural shifts can create uncertainty. Stability breeds confidence for teams, sponsors, and players alike, so they need to keep that in mind. Ultimately, the biggest wildcard is community trust. MLBB has grown because of its players. From casual ranked grinders to MPL professionals to grassroots tournament organizers. Any major acquisition must preserve the identity that made the game successful in the first place. Transparent communication will be critical. If players feel informed and included in the evolution, well, excitement will outweigh fear. If communication falters, however, speculation can spiral out of control. For me, I see this both as a massive upside and a real risk. The upside is transformative. More funding, stronger infrastructure, expanded global reach, elevated production value, and potentially the solidification of MLBB as the dominant mobile esport worldwide. The risk lies in strategic misalignment, expanding too quickly, prioritizing commercial optics over competitive integrity, or drifting away from the grassroots energy that built the scene. So, what does this really mean? It means MLBB is standing at a crossroads. A $6 to $7 billion evaluation doesn't just reflect current success, it reflects belief in future potential. If that belief is backed by thoughtful execution, MLBB could enter an era of unprecedented global dominance. If mismanaged, however, even strong foundations can weaken. For now, the reported talks signal ambition. Big ambition. And in esports, ambition paired with the right strategy can in fact change everything. So here's the real takeaway. A potential $6 to $7 billion acquisition of Moonton isn't just a flashy headline. It's a structural crossroads for Mobile Legends Bang Bang. The valuation shows how powerful MLBB has become globally, but the number itself doesn't determine the future. Direction does, leadership vision does, execution does. With the right strategy, this could accelerate esports growth, global expansion, and long-term stability. With the wrong priorities, even massive funding won't guarantee sustainable success. The structure behind the money will matter far more than the money itself. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think a sale would actually benefit MLBB? Or could it change the game in ways we're not ready for? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you want a deeper breakdown of how ownership changes could reshape global MLBB esports, make sure you watch my next video right here on Mobile Legends News. Till next time.